from him. We were closing down, and we had to just walk away from him. Like he just wouldn't shut up. He kept coming back He came back 3 times.
Oh.
He came 3 times. He was first. He was talking to us. Then he's like, "You're wrong. Blah, 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 blah. What about this? What about this? What about this?" And we just kept going back at it with him. And he came back a second time, and then he came back at the end, and then there was also this other kid who came back twice. There was a kid who came. He knew we were wrong too. He was just like,
wait,
"Oh,
John, hold that thought. The hangout just ended on air. I had a phone call coming in. I was just about to rejoin.
No, we're good. We're
Okay. I thought it just ended on my screen there.
Oh, it's still going?
Oh, yeah, the live channel.
Did we miss the fireworks on the live, like last time?
I don't know. I'm watching Nathan Oakley right now, though. I need to go back. I'm watching Nathan Oakley. It just changed.
The last thing that I heard John say when it ended was he was talking about how somebody was standing there saying you guys are like real people. That's what the point. So if it's not still live, you might want to.
Okay, yeah, no, we had the bobblehead. Yeah, I can see him.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Now we're live again. There it is.
Didn't mean to break the momentum.
No, you had to write to question.
Yeah, so give it a second, but we'll get back to what you were saying after that.
Yeah. Oh, we can start it. You got a free T-shirt.
Oh,
yeah. People
that
heard
was the
the
last thing
T-shirt
said.
People heard the T-shirt
yeah,
part, but they didn't hear you.
There was one kid who kept coming back, and he admitted that he was drinking beers for the night. He kept coming back He came back 3 times. He was just so triggered, and at the end of it, he was saying how he just wanted. He wanted to like us. He's like, I like you guys. You guys are cool dudes. Like but you're just wrong. And like he just couldn't. He was triggered like real hard, and we had to walk away from him at the end of it. We were all unsetting up. We finished with the night. We were there for 3 hours, and yeah. And then there was this other kid who came back with a group of friends after he talked. I talked to him for like 15, 20 minutes or so, and he had glasses. And then he came back with a bunch of his friends, and then they hung out for like 45 minutes. And his other friends were really interested. They're like, well, what about this? What about this? And we answered all their questions, and we showed him the map. He had sick-ass banners yesterday. It was
You probably inspired those people deeply then. You're not going to get everybody like that, but like the fact that you caught somebody and reeled them in,
Yeah, no, they wanted to know, like, well, how does this work? How does this work? And it's like, well, here you go. This is seasons. This is the sun. It's local, blah, blah, blah. You go over. It's all off the flow of the mind. It's the Jedi kicks in, and it just, you just go. And
well, if people are interested, you're doing a great job, because if they are interested, they will research it.
Yeah, they'll stand there for like a minute and look at it all, and then they'll walk up to you. I just stand around. I wait for people to come to me because that's the way to do it.
Well, think about it though. Most people trying to hand you something are just kind of like, it's usually bullshit that you don't want, So
no, I only hand it to them after the conversation. I handed out all my bookmarks. It says Google Flat Earth Clues on one side, and then it says Flat Earth Podcast on SoundCloud on the other side.
Yeah, those are the ones David Weiss gave us.
Yeah, I need more of those. I gave them all away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, people may not like it. If I can just say this real quick, Artez. Sorry, I don't mean to talk over you, but people may not like it, but at least they can tell you're honest because you're being honest about it.
And I kept saying the line, I wouldn't be in this for 3 years talking about this still if it wasn't some truth to it.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, your story is really honest, because you also said, I myself was a big, into space guy, indeed, and in Star Wars and everything, and Battlestar Galactica. So I also had my doubts. So indeed, in the beginning, you're swept off your feet, like, what the fuck is this? And
yeah,
so
I make that clear.
I think that's a great thing to say to those people, that they can understand that you're in the same position as they are in now at that moment, so you understand.
Yeah, you have to
why
make that
they
very clear.
ask certain questions, or why they are maybe a little bit upset, or a little bit.
I don't know if you guys
Huh?
got to see, but there was this one young Asian girl who I was talking to, and she had short hair, and by the end of the conversation, she was just making groaning noises, like ugh. Like, what do you like? I don't know what to say now. Like, she just didn't know what to ask me anymore because she asked me all these questions and I answered them right on the spot. And by the end of it, she just was like, I don't even know where to go from here, And we all have been at that point.
Think about this, right? Like all the universities around there, the fact that it's a Friday night, it was like 9 p.m. almost, like there's like MIT people, there's Harvard people, there's Yale people.
Yep.
What are the universities are right there? Back me up here. Isn't Berkeley College not too far? Or not
Leslie.
Okay. There's a couple of prestigious universities right there.
Yeah, no, they're all right there, man. It's prime time spot to have a permit. It's perfect.
Like those famous fraternal houses and shit like that. Big time Cambridge shit. Cambridge is a real deal
and
place.
There was one nerd who he said he worked on satellite equipment and he saw it launch, or he saw the video of it launching, and and I was like, well, what do you mean you saw it launch? You mean you saw it go up and up and up and up and up, and then all of a sudden turn into cartoon telemetry data?
Did he work for like General Dynamics? I bet.
No, it's just I don't know. I didn't ask him that, but I don't know. He said Vinny worked on satellite shit too, though, didn't he? So people work on this shit.
That's polite of you to not push him to tell all of his information. He doesn't have to.
No, I'm not going to dox the guy. It's just I'm giving out information. He wanted to debate me. I didn't want to debate anyone, but I did.
No.
You do a good job remembering that people automatically get triggered, but you're not putting any type of like assault on anyone. You're not.
No, and he got frustrated because I kept going back to water is flat. You can see way farther than you should be able to, according to the math. I kept going back to that because that's the only proof you fucking need. And that
and
just
also a good point you made. Actually, you get to receive everything from the satellite straight away, or is it passed through a station? And he actually admitted, it's passed through the station.
It's through a relay. Right?
That's what it is.
You made a good point about potential and kinetic energy too, because you said, like somebody must have dropped something to the ground and been like, that's gravity, right?
You gave it potential energy by picking it up, like Jimbo says. I got that one from Jimbo. Thank you, Jimbo.
And to take that a step further, thank you, Jimbo. To take that a step further, right? Things at rest stay at rest, right? That's their rules.
Right.
So if you hold it, then that's not at rest. You're holding it. That's a different story. That's a whole different set of given information. They can't just change scenarios and move goalposts. That's literally moving.
But then
they
try to say what he came back with was, but in space, this is what happens. He kept trying to say, I can observe these things in space, and it's like
somebody back me up. 2 years ago, in all the debates, everything was about moving goalposts.
Absolutely.
Is that Jimbo there? There we go. What up, Jimbo?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. They used to do that all the time, Carl.
I'm glad you point out flat water to people, because it's one of those things that subconsciously and visually
you deny
see it, and you can't deny it. No. That's why the aggression comes out, because they have to start lying to themselves, and they know it. So they vent the anger of their denial at you. And I found another. It's a great.
Themselves, by the way.
Yeah. What did you say, Carl? Say again.
Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you, James. I just want to say that you could even suggest to people to go to Castle Island and look for themselves.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no. Well, I tell them it's everywhere, and there's thousands of it, because they even go back. Where'd you get this information? Well, they brought up, from YouTube. It's like videos on the internet, and they're like, what, YouTube? And I'm like, well, there's also, it's a platform, correct? There's also pure scientific things that you agree with on YouTube, correct? And I throw that back at them, that it's only a platform, just like Google's a platform.
Try this one out, all right? There's a little bit of geography in the area. If you're in Harvard Square, ask people, what curvature does the Charles River show? There's some waterfalls in Newton. Other than that, it connects back around to the Neponset River via the Mother Brook, but there's no fucking curvature, and it goes around an entire county. So there's sitting right next to the Charles River, but they're going to tell you that that river has curvature. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
No, it does not.
People don't know these experiments, though. It's tough to give.
Can I share a quick clip with you? And I think you'll understand the importance of monkeys dropping keys and stuff. But let me share the clip, and we'll get into it just for a minute. These are the boys on Australian TV, I guess. I don't know if I'm sharing.
I saw this too.
Yeah.
And I actually
important
do
thing,
like
let me play it for everyone. Please allow me to play it because I know you've seen it and you've told us now. There may be a lot of people who have not. So please give me one moment and we'll play this.
Yeah, I promise.
Back off, Carl.
You see, right there, he's trying to prove like Einstein is gravity by instantaneously, like a person would reach in their pocket, take out their keys and drop them. But again, they're defying the rule of a body at rest stays at rest. So you put that right back at them. As soon as they pick up a card, their keys, a feather, it don't matter what. They're giving it energy, holding it back, and releasing it. There's nothing to do with gravity. Never has been. And how this monkey can sit there and say, what's happening here? And the other guy sitting there, the musician there with the beard, who says, well, we really don't know. Well, yes, we do. Just, like W5, who, what, where, when, why. The anchor man reached, picked up a card that was at rest, held it up and dropped it, and did a Neil deGrasse on him. Well, give him Newton right back in his face. That card was at rest. The apple in the tree that, quote, fell on Newton, it grew there.
This is that video called The Men Who Think the Earth is Flat, right, on TV with Martin Kenny, right?
I'm not sure. I thought it was Australian TV or something in their news or whatever.
Oh, there it is, right? Yeah, no, it says it right there. The Men Who Claim the Earth is Flat. It was British television, I'm pretty sure.
It's British, okay. But the point being is that, there are very few things that they've got super brainwashed into people, like reaching in your pockets, grabbing keys, and here, flat earther, eat this. And it's so totally retarded on their part. It's like
a response.
It is, and it's
they saw it.
State programming, like
they
change, new words, like it's all good. No, it's not all good. Who came up with that? Why does everyone say it now? It's like dropping your keys.
What I think is a follow-up argument to that, James. A follow-up argument to that is okay. So they drop the keys, they hit the ground, right? Then what do the keys do? They do nothing until you touch them.
Again,
they do not move.
They stay at rest.
They stay
go
at
back
rest.
to Newton's first rule.
They do not fall a second time. They do not fall infinitely. They only fell one time. Just like you said, the apple grew on the tree. Apple grew on the tree.
No, but what makes isn't everything just floating like it does in space? Is there?
Pardon me?
What makes
you
down?
Got digital.
Like, why isn't it all just? Like, why do things with more density go downward? That's their argument.
Slow down, Sean. You're getting robotic.
They don't. If they're on the ground, they're not going anywhere. If they're in a tree,
but why isn't the ground and all the dirt and all the sand and all the molecules that are dense not just floating around the same as molecules that aren't dense? What's causing down?
I'll tell you, I landscape it like not every day, but
causing down. Down is a place, not a verb. Down is not a verb. Well, you can drop something down. Is down a verb? No. Fall is a verb, but down is not a verb.
Well, I guess because you're right, because helium balloons are falling up.
A verb is an action word. How can down, which is not an action word, be asked to be treated as an action word and defined as an action word?
I think
where's the logic?
What, Jibby?
I think Jimbo wants to fight agave.
No, but I mean, how do you define down?
I know what you mean, James. Just like an elevator can go down, but also can go up.
But down in English grammar.
Well, no, elevators are still opposing down because they use counterweights.
Yeah, that's.
It's not like, but a helium balloon goes up because of equilibrium.
It also goes up.
No, it's a bladder.
But no, I guess what I'm really asking is what makes the equilibrium levels? Like, what makes it want to be equilibrium higher, lighter things higher, and lower? You know.
Do you mean like
why isn't it just wishy-washy? You know, why isn't it just like a
wishy-washy? Let's talk about something concrete. Are we talking about a 1 pound weight on the ground? What are we talking about?
No, I'm saying like weightless. Why isn't it? Like, what is causing the down to be down and not just like it would? Like, we know
Down
zero
doesn't
gravity
need a cause.
So zero gravity.
Do you need a cause to look down at your feet and know it's down?
No, that's not what I'm
saying.
saying.
Just to know that your shoelace. I don't know what you mean by define down and a cause for down. I know what you mean by falling. It's because something had energy.
Somehow trees know what down is.
Things
trees know
don't
what down and up is.
appear in the air and want to go down.
So it's just because it's the way things are, I guess, is my answer. Because like
Mass
when you know how things act
under Newton's law.
You know how things act when they're falling, like it's 0G. Like, we all know what space in 0G is supposed to be the fantasy that it is. You know, like we get
sort
space.
Of like being in water and floating.
Right. What I'm saying is, okay, so everything's in equilibrium around us because it's a vacuum. So we're just flowing there in nothingness or whatever. If space was real, which I don't believe. But my question is, like, why in this realm do we have not that? Like, what's making it the dense things, what we call go down?
Nothing's making anything go down, my friend. That's
no matter
what you're asking. The question is nonsensical.
There is no
understand what I mean. You don't have to excuse down more than left or right or sideways or diagonal.
So 0G will just always be an impossible thing.
There is no 0G.
You can't leave the plane. You can't leave the plane. Yeah. The plane is the plane.
It's been ingrained in my head so hard that 0G is like a thing that, I don't believe in space anymore. So it's like
when they go over that arc, they're falling with the plane. There's no 0G involved. Absolutely
no, I know. That's
none.
98.8 millimeters or whatever it is per second. 9.8.
People accept that what goes up is going to come down, but somehow something can go up high enough that it just floats. No,
I don't believe that anymore. No, that's not what I'm saying.
Yes.
I'm just saying, I'm trying to grasp the physical reality of, like, what is it? Like, everything's magnetism to this plane,
not necessarily. Mass is a thing.
That's how you know the ISS is a lie. Is that what goes up must come down, right? I mean,
no.
Well, no, and I don't believe the ISS either.
You can push a basketball down into the water, then it goes down. When you actually release the basketball, it will float up to the surface of the water.
So just the reality of things is that an equilibrium.
Not always the case.
An equilibrium exists where things that are light, like are less dense, go up, or what we call up, are at the top of this enclosed system, and things that are heavier are at the bottom. I guess it's just the reality of things, and there's no such thing as 0G, and it's just a weird thing to think about, of like why the dense things are at the bottom and what we call the bottom. And
here's the thing. Now, I can give an example here, and it's an important one. Okay, now in chemistry there are things called isomers and mixed isomers. These are chemicals that have the exact same weight or mass, if you will, same number of carbon, same number of everything, exactly the same, but they're different chemicals structurally. Now, how do you separate them? Believe it or not, you separate them by putting them in solution and putting a strip of paper vertically and dip the bottom end in that solution. They climb up the paper and they separate into layers horizontally. But they all weigh the same thing. So it's not gravity.
Why does it pick?
It's not weird. There's no
Why
gravity.
does it pick one over the other if they're the same weight?
Because
are they different densities?
You believe in gravity. That's why you have a question about it.
Hold on. Can I try to make a point here? All right. So you look around, you see the dirt on the ground, you see that shit appears to be like the down is down or whatever, or things fall to the ground for whatever reason. But
Carl,
you're forgetting that you can't deny that there's wind and rain that change the terrain very quickly. And, like, it sounds stupid, but the surface is covered with living things that are holding things together. Like without grass, shrubs, weeds, stuff would shift around a lot more, I would say, because it's trying to level itself all the time. Make a mound of dirt, just dirt out in your front yard,
you're
and then
right
watch when
about
it
that. It
rains and when
does
the wind
try.
blows, it's going to flatten out.
Yeah, the
Earth
land. If
flattens
you have,
itself out.
yeah,
Dirt is the earth.
yeah, you dig a hole, it's going to fill itself in
That's what they
eventually
refer to it
and
as.
level
It's
out.
earth.
Yeah,
What do
that's right.
earthworms live in? They live in dirt, and dirt is the earth.
And dig a nice big hole after a couple of rains, you're going to have a nice flat bottom.
And you know what
And
Earth
it's going to
is? It's
get
just
flatter and
carcasses.
flatter and flatter, more
Yeah, it's
leveling.
different substrates all over the place. You know, sometimes it's rocky, sometimes there's different types of rock. You go to the beach, you dig a hole where it's wet at the edge
Still
of the
tries to
shore.
level.
It's going to fill in faster than you can dig it. You know.
Yeah.
It's sand. Sand is different, and some beaches are just shells. It's different composite, but the Earth is like particles just sitting on a flatness of a continuous plane.
On a
It's going to
bed,
flatten
yeah.
itself out
On a
over
mantle.
and over again.
I have a question
That's why the
about
ocean can't rise. It's bullshit. You know.
More like
I
land
agree.
sinking.
The continents would have to sink for the sea level to rise, right? Am I wrong?
Pardon me?
The continents
Or
would
more
have to
water would need to be added.
rise. Well, where would the added water really come from, though? Because any melting ice is going to turn into evaporation off the ocean. You know, it's just going to re-evaporate and rain somewhere else.
All these modern things and concepts are part of the fear porn. Really, since the floods, nothing changed, and I think the floods were intentional. So, I mean, I'm not worried about sea floods and up and down waters or none of that nonsense no more. We're in a very
weather
static, in a
false flag.
sense, very controlled environment. We are in a creation. We have a controlled living environment. Our AC is controlled. We're in a closed system.
That's just the thing, is all of our weather now is literally climate controlled, just like in an office building or in your car or in your bedroom.
And that's a contrived belief. It can only be A, partially controlled, and B, only as long as these maniacs sustain their pollutants and other stuff.
That's true. That's true. They
And
can't totally
no matter
control it. You're
what
right.
they claim of how good they have a control over it, I still call bullshit in a lot of respects.
Yeah, I agree with you there. You're right. I overstepped it when I said they
try to
control it all.
contain a whole bunch of air. The best you can do is seed some stuff and hope that, you know, in a sense, your calculations for movement of energy masses and stuff
Hey, I just had a
resemble what you hope or predict and expect.
Are the elite purposely trying to ruin this place so the gods come and fix it?
No,
is that
they
the
can
plan?
purposely ruin this place because there are billions of square miles outside of this range and this grid that we're on that they can go fuck around on.
Oh, you're a more land theorist.
Not theorist. There's more fucking land.
I want to
wait, I'm gonna pull a jibby on you. Have you seen the land?
It's likely.
I haven't personally, but many Canadians and many people in the north have.
Okay.
Now,
and there are
here's
witnesses
what
to
happens.
it, but no, it's not proven.
When you go north of north here in Canada, you're told something when you're on boats, and it's a universal thing. Don't go north because you will see land, but it's optical illusions and stuff. You'll run out of fuel and do whatever before you get to wherever. Bullshit. So that's why I think there's more land.
Yeah, scare tactic, keep you away, right?
So, well, my imagination, my logic tells me, if people are seeing land and they're saying, don't go there because it's just an optical illusion, someone's freaking lying. Either those optical illusions are real or they're not. But someone should go fucking look.
I think it's don't go there because there's giants there and they'll kill you.
When you're a kid and there's that scary house and everyone says, don't go there, that's a haunted house, you know, that's just because they don't want you to go there. The haunted house part is just a trick to keep you from going there.
And really, it's the nicest old man ever who has all these great stories.
And boogeyman stories.
Chances are it's someone's abandoned estate where they just don't want anyone touching it because there's no one to oversee it. There's no one to watch over it.
All over the north.
Yeah, sometimes things go into tutel and they just sit there. Everything that was there when a person died or whatever is still in place. Every dime, nickel, shirt, sock.
So
yeah, and unfortunately, looters break into people's abandoned stuff. You know, like looters will just steal that shit. Looters literally stole. Listen to this. This will outrage you guys. Looters came into cemeteries around here, which is not surprising, and stole the brass stars off of veterans' graves.
No shit. God. For a little bit of copper. For $3 a pound of fucking copper.
Yep, and they recently stole the bell buoys. They stole the brass bell buoys out in the ocean with the knocker and everything. They stole the fucking bell off of the buoys and the channel markers.
Even brass has a slight more value
crazy scrapping junkies. These metal scrappers are disgusting.
They are.
Look, in Montreal,
I used to hit foreclosed houses back in my day.
In Montreal, I lived on a third floor, and I was up
sometimes. World War II memorial with a brass plate on it, and they stole it a couple of times.
It's ridiculous, right?
In Montreal, at 3 in the morning, I'm watching recyclers going down the street, okay, supposedly looking for metal. If there's a bike, and it's an easy chain to cut or whatever, the truck goes away, someone comes back with fucking bolt cutters and takes that fucking bike. Recycling. It's just almost like thieves now. They're pirates. They're just fucking, damn. You know,
that's what this monetary system leads to is theft. You know,
my buddy's friend, he did contract for the bank for the foreclosures. He'd fix them up and board them up and shit. So he'd give us the keys. We go clean out the copper because the bank has to replace all that shit anyway.
Yeah.
When they
don't incriminate yourself or anything. Don't.
A lot of places pay and you pull the wires out of buildings and you strip them of the copper. That way there's no reason for people to go in. If they know there's no copper, there's no reason to go in.
I got that statute of limitation. This was so long ago. This was a long time ago.
Fucked up world, man.
Right, that's what it's called, statute of limitation, where they can't charge you after 7 years or some shit.
Depends on the crimes. There's no statute on murder.
Hey, they don't have any evidence. I can say whatever I want.
I thought it was 25 years or something.
It was self-defense anyway. You'll never find the body.
It was the 2008 crash. They're bigger criminals than I was for causing it.
Like the prosecution says, yeah, and he threw his wife out naked. The guy says, no, she wasn't naked. She had a butt plug.
That's inappropriate.
I know. Triple X joke. But, you know, in the reality of this insanity, that'd be perfectly normal. Not guilty. They made a mistake. She wasn't totally naked. Here's a photo. It's just that crazy. Look, you know, women get raped basically, and then they go on trial. It's still that way, really.
Yeah, they get questioned. Yeah, it's fucked.
Oh, do you wear a dress? Well, I'm a lady. Oh, you slut. Yeah.
You were wearing
that? It shouldn't matter what the hell she was wearing that night.
I know. I read a really great thing today that this gay guy wrote, and he said he was basically explaining how men's sexuality is their own problem. If someone's skin arouses you, that's your problem, because he grew up, you know, around all these attractive men, and they basically strip naked in dressing rooms and whatever. And that's like, he's not allowed to be like, oh, he was asking for it. You know, he was, you know, he's not allowed to say, oh, that's his problem because he's gay, and he's gay. So and the same mentality should be applied for straight men and women. You know, let them express themselves no matter how it makes you feel. You leave them alone. You don't talk to that girl on the train.
My basic attitude from work. I'm tolerant with a lot of things, but, you know, leave people alone. Yeah. They're not interested. Mm-hmm. They're not interested. It's, you know, go somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, at the most, you try. If you want to try to be polite and say hi, and they just ignore you, you fucking walk away. You don't fucking, you know, and you don't say creepy things like, "Oh, you're beautiful today," like that. They don't like that shit. You just fucking, you know, you can't. I leave everyone.
Why do you say it all the time, Sean?
Oh, that's when I'm in the bag. That's a different story. That's not the me I'm proud of. Yeah, that's not the me I'm proud of. Respect women. That's my message.
And you have a potential.
Respect everybody. That should be the message.
Sean has to practice what he preaches, though.
Hey, I'm a respectful guy.
I don't think I've been to a bar with you where you weren't being inappropriate with a lady.
Well, that was. You haven't been to a bar with me in a very long time either, so.
Right, and I think Alex has the same amount of stories.
Yeah.
To the point where he was going to leave you, or he did leave you there.
Yeah, he left me on my birthday.
Wow,
well, so
that's some shit you were doing. You must have been doing some shit for Alex. A good guy like that.
People won't abandon you on your freaking birthday unless you're really being a prick.
Yeah,
I made a gay joke. It made him uncomfortable.
Then don't make gay jokes.
Yeah. All right, so
people who make it
you made a gay joke. He left you on your birthday. Let me guess. Was the gay joke directed at him, and was it not a joke?
No, it was not. No.
Why did you tell it? What motivated you?
I was already pretty drunk. And he's like, why do you bring up gay shit or whatever? Like pretended to hit on some guy randomly right next to us or whatever, and he freaked the fuck out and just left. But whatever.
Look, some things make
He's in the chat. He's in the chat. He remembers. It was. I was a drunken.
Figured he was out there.
Yeah, I was a fucking drunken mess at that point in my life, though. That was like right before the fucking incident where I had to go to the hospital. Like that was recently before that.
Yeah, well, lay off the booze. You won't be in the hospital as much.
Yeah, no, I've turned my cheek, man. I've been going to meetings. I've been on my game.
Yeah, that's good. Like we talked about that, and like I say, don't base your progress on anyone else's by any comparisons or standards.
No, I don't.
The journey is very individual, and you fail if you base your success on other people's.
This weekend, I'm taking a little bit of a break from it because it's been a new part of my life. I still haven't gotten paid. I'm pissed off about that. I just wanted to fucking escape. But
some of these groups and therapies are great, but then the therapy, you wind up needing therapy to get you off the therapy. So too much is too much too, some of these 12 steps and stuff, they demand a little too much, like religion sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I don't like about it. Like, I do believe in God, but my own version of God, like I said, I'm agnostic, and I think it's kind of a VR type of thing. But you don't agree with that. That's fine.
No,
but,
I do agree. I agree that your relationship with God is personal, and no one should come between you and the Creator, period.
I pray to God every morning.
Ideas, opinions, but that's all they are. Yeah. In the end,
I've been praying to God, give me the strength
you have to ask answer to.
It's been working.
Not to me, not to anyone else. It's you and the man. And every mutt around will want to tell you what's this and what's that and how to get to heaven and give me some more and I'll save your soul. It just never ends.
What kind of place is this where basically if you're in need, you have to beg this God for help?
Well, if you look at it this way, a lot of people want things, and there's a difference between what you want and what you need. Life is actually
and it's
very
giving
simple.
Yourself over. It's giving yourself over to that, and use me.
But let me give an example here. Now,
that helps
life
others.
is, what we call atoms that collect into, groups of proteins that collect into cells that collect into tissues and organisms, and that's what we are. We need basics: air, water, food to survive. Now, people think life is, I like red, I like pink, I like the Steelers, I like the Blue Jays. That's not life. It's personal. Your choice in favorite color, your likes and dislikes, your drugs, your habits, your addictions. That's not life.
Why not?
People don't understand that. That's the farthest thing from life.
Actually, life is what you make it. So if you make it about drugs, then that's your life.
In part. Now, again, life, we see it as finite because we die, or we think we die. Now, I can give you some examples in nature of things that, as long as their cellular integrity remains intact, they do not expire.
Yeah, one example. Our cells die. That's why we get old.
Yeah, because we can't do several processes that other creatures still can. Regenerate missing limbs. Some people, children, will lose a finger and regrow a new one.
You can,
in
but you
human,
have to have
that's
a
been
booster.
Most of the
documented.
time, yes. Most of the
You
time,
have to
that
have a
don't
booster.
happen, though.
But you have to have a booster. We can't do it by ourselves. You can get a
Well,
booster and grow your finger back with the nail.
yeah, they do B12 injections and a few other things.
What about
I'm
an
sure
oxygen chamber? What if you put them in an oxygen chamber?
I don't
pressurized?
know. I know they give them B12 booster and some other stuff, and it
There's a
helps to
black powder
stimulate the
stuff they
nerve
do too.
growth and
You
etc.
could get this black powder out of Mexico, and this is like miracle powder apparently with other supplements, and it's been
Yeah.
documented people can grow limbs back. Now,
But
I don't know about an arm or a leg. I'm talking
yeah,
about appendages
so
like fingers
I use
and
the
toes.
term the cellular integrity of a creature. Now that means, limbs, other stuff, your whole entire physical, all your cells together, limbs and feet and toes or legs and claws or whatever, intact as a complete unit. Now your cellular integrity as a complete unit. Now the brine shrimp, if you dehydrate it, you can put it in a bag and it can be in the sun. It can go to 120, 130 degrees. You can put it in the freezer. Take it out, let it go to room temperature. Add 9% or 0.9 salt water again, and guess what? They swim around, and breed, and multiply. And then you can dry them out again. Put them away for 1,000 years. As long as their cellular integrity remains intact, they won't expire. Now,
Do you think these elite are sleeping in oxygen chambers?
they can do whatever the fuck they want. I don't give a rat's ass.
But I mean, the
these
celebrities
people
do
are
it when you're
insane. They're going to do
injured.
all kinds of stuff. They're going to be dying. They're going to nurse on wet nurses, at 80 years old to get a few more days out of life. They're going to inject or drink baby blood because they believe, and in some cases, there are cells, the T cells, stem cells, that can help to rejuvenate and extend for a short period, you know, diseased people and extend their lives. It's a sickness. You don't take life from another to extend yours. That's vampirism, as we call it symbolically. But
Do you think
again,
that's actually happening?
absolutely. But again, back to cellular integrity and time and duration. Mic out. Whoops.
You're
Am I
good now.
back? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if something breaks or crunches these little shrimp, they're no good no more. Their cellular integrity is no longer intact. Now, the same thing for humans. We have a cellular integrity that starts when we're born, develops into maturity and stuff, and then at some point starts in the aging process, as we call it. Now, that doesn't
25.
have to be, but it is. But that's right now beside the point. If things were optimal, we probably would not die. We could have the
We
ability
apparently
to.
we grow cells and keep growing up until 25. Then all of it
Yeah.
starts to
Going to
die.
We could
27
do
for
like
men,
brine
the
shrimp
consensus
and
numbers.
insects. They still have the mechanism. The water in cells is expelled and replaced with sugars. Water in a cell, if you freeze it, expands, damages the cell. So insects, when they winter over, means they prepare for winter and stuff, something triggers genetically that the water in their cells is all expelled and replaced with sugar. So it can freeze in the winter, go to -10, -20. There's no water in that creature. It's been expelled from all the cells. And then in the spring, those cells rehydrate.
Wow.
It can be the spring, or if you take these creatures and keep them frozen for 10 years and thaw them out,
Holy
they'll be
shit!
okay. So our concept of death is a more recent thing. I don't think it existed in the same way in the past. I think our cellular integrity and our genetics enabled us to have some of these properties. regrowth of missing limbs, ability to winter over. If we were triggered by a freeze over, the water would be expelled from our cells, replaced with sugar. We'd freeze, well, freeze. Our temperatures would lower to whatever the environmental temperature was, and then when it thawed again, we would rehydrate and reanimate, same as many other creatures.
Where'd you hear this from? About humans, though, doing that.
Oh, because genetically, we're the same. A banana is 50% human DNA. A cat, a rat, a mouse, human DNA in large
Weird.
part. So if these creatures have these abilities, and there's some are still active in their DNA, some aren't. Something's been re-engineered and recoded and made this way. Because it is, things have again what we call a checksum value to ensure on production that they meet a specification, a value. In nature, it's called the checksum value. In industry, I mean, you could compare it to building a car out of thousands of parts, putting it on a scale, and making sure it weighed within 1,000th of a gram when it was done. And if it was well done, every bolt would be in the right place, every washer, every weld, everything would be perfect. And it would match the checksum. In computers, we use the checksum. You have the option when you're transferring files, often it says use checksum or not. If you use the checksum, it'll take a little longer, but it'll guarantee that the copy of the file you get will be exactly the same as the one you click to download. If the checksum isn't checked, there may be some damaged files. The computer will simply not even download them. It'll reject them. So when you don't use the checksum on very large files with multiple documents and other stuff in it, some risk not being downloaded at all. Same thing when you transfer from one hard drive to another, all the contents. You check the number of files that actually transfer, you'll find it's a lot lower than the number that was on the drive when you started the transfer, a whole disk transfer. Some of them have...
I want to know about Mexico, Gibby. What? Like, I want to know how do you get, not just to regenerate a limb, but like just to regenerate your, certain, your
What's
body.
that to do with Mexico?
Because he said you can go to Mexico and get stuff.
Oh, on the black market, yeah, you can get body parts and kidneys.
No, not body parts.
No, regrown.
I'm talking about like regrow, cell regeneration.
I don't think they can do that in Mexico.
I don't know. That's what I came to ask him.
I don't think Jibby said Mexico.
I said about regrowing limbs. You can get a powder out of Mexico from testimonials I've
just like they have rootone and stuff to stimulate roots on plants for cuttings. There, I'm sure, chemicals, ointments, and other stuff that can stimulate nerves and other stuff. And again, genetically, the information is there on what, say, a finger was. And, it's funny. After you lose a limb, there's a ghost limb or a ghost member, they call it. And it actually maintains an electric aura. Like if you lost a finger on your hand and did a scan, you'd still see an aura where the finger was.
How long does that
Often it works the same for a whole leg or a whole arm.
Yeah, and that's why you get that feeling like you feel like
effect.
It's still there.
It is, yeah. And not only it feels so much like it's still there, a lot of people, say missing a leg, will wake up in the morning, and because you're already a bit foggy and might not be thinking totally, they try to stand up as if they still have two legs.
What about Jared, though? Like, Jared, do you have an aura or not? Because you were born that way, right? So do you feel like you're missing anything? I'm thinking no. Hello, Jerry?
He may not be at the mic.
Right. That's okay.
You know, yesterday was the first time I've seen Jared's hand, and I didn't know about it at all, and it took me off guard. It took me off guard. But I
I
whatever.
thought it was cool
it's just
though.
how he
I thought
is.
it was cool though that he's like that though. You know, he's like, that's me. You know?
How is his he has his thumb and his pinky.
Sean, don't do it.
He's very like seriously, like he can barbecue. Like he grilled. He can do anything.
No, I'm sure he can.
He cooked faster than I did. Like seriously, like
that's
I was
not
just
what
like,
I was
whoa.
asking. No, I'm sure
he's your guest and he was cooking.
Well, no, he was taking over stuff in the kitchen.
Okay, all right. Breaking news. Can I interrupt real quick?
It's okay though. Yeah, we're
friends.
All right,
so Sean, Jibby, David Hogg is doing a march for their lives thing from Worcester to Springfield to go protest at Smith and Wesson.
We can get this bastard, can't we?
I'm not kidding. No. It gets better though, right? So I decided I'm gonna do a YouTube search, and I did a YouTube search on like regular YouTube. I typed in David Hogg, and then I did filter live, and you know what the only results were?
What?
There's only one live stream that has a result with David Hogg as the tag. Do you want to know what it is?
What?
It's the ISS live stream from Space and Videos is the only fucking thing that comes back when you search for David.
They're reducing what they're showing and they're changing a lot of the freaking searches.
I'm gonna do it right now. How do you
why,
speak it?
Why would the ISS ever show David Hogg as a tag?
Why? That's why I keep reporting them as spam and misleading. I keep reporting them as bullshit, and YouTube will not take that stream down. I'm telling everyone, report that fucking stream. It's total horseshit. It's not NASA.
God,
they would not use David Hogg.
Absolutely right, dude. Check it out.
They would not use David. Dude, Chippy, show it on screen if you can right now. David Hogg is the only. I mean, that is the only result when you search for David Hogg and search live. That's unbelievable right now.
And just to prove it, David Hogg up here. Okay.
Filter, what the fuck?
Filter live. Boom.
Whoa.
Why? Why are they using that tag
what happened?
That's obviously a scammer who just posts ISS streams like I've said all along, who's not affiliated with NASA whatsoever. They just use a channel called Space and Videos.
Because it's public, what do they call it? Fair use public. Anybody can do this. Anybody can monetize it, and anybody can make free money off it.
Yeah, this is legal. This is in YouTube's parameters.
That's why when you go to that channel and you say the ISS is fake, all this footage is a lie, they just remove you immediately. You get ghost banned for having flat earth in your name, and you can't comment. Like, ask Pete. Pete can't comment there under any channel name.
We all can't.
I can because I haven't fucked up yet there. Because
I have, but I didn't do it on all my names.
Dude, this exposes Space and Videos, the channel. This is huge.
Jibby's got sock accounts.
All right, so we should try other keywords that lead to exposure like this. Like, search for another keyword that's really fucking specific.
Sandy Hook Live.
Well, I'm not going to spend all my time doing that, but find something if you can.
I'll try some more.
That one.
That's breaking news.
That's fucking
Space and Videos channel is a total fucking lie.
David Hogg's going to go to Uranus soon.
He's gonna march into Uranus.
Well, they got that 17-year-old going to Mars or whatever, right? So now
David Hogg is going to be forever 17. He's going to be 17 in 2020. He's going to be 17 in 2030. He's been lying all along.
Yeah, and Bart Simpson.
He's still going to be playing with his Venus.
Hey, how can I find out what's going on around my house, around my airport? There was planes all night last night. And then now they're starting again, like different types of planes.
Do you have a military base near you?
No.
All right.
But I do have a big. Okay, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
This is good. This is good information, right?
Okay.
So I recently complained about aircraft noise over my house, and I ended up calling the Massachusetts Massport Association, and they forwarded my complaint to the FAA, and they informed me. They answered every fucking question I had. About why are they flying low over my house, why they're making so much noise. And they basically told me, that like that's what the law says they can do or whatever. But you might get some good answers if you call like the local aviation authority near you. So
Right. See, this is like this is not like normal. In other words, normally at nighttime, like past 6 p.m., okay, I only have 2 commercial flights that fly over, towards the airport. But last night there was, I think I was maybe even, I don't know if I was online with you guys or not, but like it was like a big, what do you call it? I don't know. We have one of those.
Wait, I have another question.
was
Is
it
there
a
any
propeller
big
plane? Was it a
concerts?
And now they're
C-130?
small planes tonight. They're small.
Was it a
any-
C-130?
I don't think she'd know that.
I don't know. Is that? Is it a gray like bomber looking, like a heavy,
Yeah,
heavy
it has.
cargo looking? Not bomber.
Yeah, it has 4 huge propellers on it. That's how you know it's a C-130.
Well, it was nighttime. I couldn't tell, but I know one thing: the engine, the sound of the engine was very much not like the Delta whatever, this 7 whatever.
747.
Yeah, it was
Sounds like a
different.
propeller plane then.
So it wasn't like a
Might-
whistle.
No.
It wasn't like a whistle sound.
No,
it
it
sounded
was
like
jet. No, it was way more like jet sounding, and it was flying in higher. I did realize that one was probably, it was making a southerly loop, and then curving back up north to go land at Chenal, which is where that used to be a military. Well, it's an aircraft facility.
Was it Air Force One?
It was fucking Trump.
No, it wasn't. No, I don't know. It was no. He has flown here. He has landed here though before, recently.
They juggle everything for Air Force One.
Clear the swamp, baby.
I don't know. There's just a lot of people.
They're coming to Louisiana to drain the swamp.
Maybe it's
they're
has
gonna
something to
drain
do
all
with
the real
it's the end of the summer. Maybe it's end of the summer, and all the cool people that maybe the cool people, not that big plane, but all the cool people that own planes or can rent a plane or whatever. And I don't mean cool, but y'all know what I mean. Like there's people like that. Maybe they're just flying around towards the end of the summer.
I might suggest in what they call our weather modification programs and stuff.
Yes.
The regular name all us people call it is chemtrails. But inside the industry, they call it the aerial dispersion program or dispersal program.
Nothing's coming out though. They're not.
No, but they need more and more airports for logistics to cover more and more area. They do like a circle.
I feel like there's like delivering stuff. They're delivering stuff,
Odds are, yes. Odds are if there's extra plane traffic, it's for aerial dispersal products. And again, what you can do is actually look at the airport for planes that might have nozzles and valves and other stuff in a drive-by. Often you can see a lot of the planes that are kicking around hangars and stuff, and they're
they wait to fly at night, so
they
this
park
has all been happening at night.
Yeah.
Although there was earlier today, during the day today, there was some. But I've had at least two since I've been on the panel. One just before I got on the panel, and then another one, and then last night there was one at like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. I don't know. It was late.
Well, there are ways when you get used to it and you have material to check, you can at night tell what kind of plane it is, at least by the lights. Right. There's space between. You can have a good idea of how big the plane is if it's near enough. And
right. Yeah, because usually the cabin lights they're on most of them. Not all of them, but most of them. The cabin lights are on by the time they get here, and
Yeah, and at night they have a headlight that they turn on to taxi and stuff,
Right.
Okay. And they line up sometimes, and a lot of people think that there's a bunch of UFOs lining up.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Planes lining up to land.
The higher that light, usually the bigger the plane that it's on and stuff. It's easy to spot on the Pipers, Cessnas, and others just to a certain size.
See, like for the planes that maybe aren't as powerful, they're smaller, like you just said, they're smaller.
Yeah.
They don't cover as much territory. So if they're flying, they're zipping, off in the distance, right? And they have a green light and a red light and a white light or whatever, or their cabin, whatever it is, you know. But they're going so much slower, it seems, perspective-wise. Is that why we think it's a UFO thing, you think?
Yeah, it depends on the angle something's coming at you, going away from, etc. You know, if it's coming from a long distance at a very slight angle, it looks real slow. If it's going across horizontally in front of you, it seems to be traveling faster. You know.
Jibby, didn't you have a theory, Jibby, about that planes are probably traveling slower than we think they really are?
It wasn't my theory. It was something me and Poncho were watching the other day.
Yeah, with the headwinds and with the headwinds and how they're stopped almost.
Well, not that so much as just lying about the actual 3,000 miles that is the USA, cut it down to like 1,500, and then just cut the airplane speed.
I've been thinking a lot about those stupid airplanes. Like even I saw a 787, and I said, "Damn it, those wings are so flimsy. There's something just they can't hold." Like a 747, 82 cubic meters of fuel in one wing. Impossible. Yeah. I can't see it fitting. So I'm
Poncho's
thinking,
gonna wake up.
Yeah, if there's something that they may be doing, it's called vortex technology. They're able to propel in front of the plane, in front of the jets, a vortex that can pull them through, kind of. I think that's more what's going on than
it's like they're being sucked
fuel
forward, not so much pushing forward.
Well, the lift is caused by the vacuum above the wing. It's the vacuum above the wing.
When they're on the ground, on the pavement, and they're turning and stuff, and they're hitting little bumps, those wings are like almost waves going through them. It's ridiculous. If they had all that mass in them, they couldn't have no wave going through them like that.
No, they break apart if they had that.
It's physically impossible. So I don't know what's going on. It's another thing that now I'm pissed off again because I'm confused.
Well, hold that thought for a second. I think I might have an answer to why Jibby's fireworks went off tonight and why Lisa saw crazy airplanes.
Oh, Jibby, I guess. Yay! Hold up. Happy 4th of July, Jibby. Go ahead. You too, Sean.
John McCain officially passed away, so maybe people lit off the fireworks in honor of him, Jibby.
Oh, he finally went to Tupac Island,
he probably died a few days ago, and they put him on the shelf and said tonight, like, if you're an important person and your wife's having a baby and it's near December 23rd, guess what?
He really
disappears, and then hey, it's a Christmas baby. I mean,
he wasn't old enough to die yet. He wasn't old enough to die.
Maybe they killed him today.
He was.
They killed him with brain cancer. They killed him.
Now we really mean bye, Mr. American.
Wait, did he get the brain tumor for real?
Yeah, he's dead. He stopped the treatment.
Was it the brain tumor? Because that's how they took out Ted Kennedy.
Yeah, they killed him. Yep. They killed him.
Nice.
They killed him. They killed him. They killed him. They killed him.
Yeah.
They killed him. And that's all I got to say about that.
He's probably going to run too. He's probably going to run.
You can usually do it by radio wave or by chemical. But,
I could see him wanting to run for president in 2020. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, because you have a chance, like doing it honestly.
He wouldn't.
Who, an 80-year-old? Never.
Maybe he wanted to be killed.
I still don't know who died.
Well, maybe he's on Tupac Island.
Y'all artists.
Why are you guys saying the most outlandish shit?
I didn't see the body. Did you?
I'm gonna go right ahead and jump to conclusions and say the Freemasons probably killed him.
He's a politician, artist. Yes.
Yeah, I recognize his picture. He was running for president.
Yeah, last
when Obama.
Yeah. He's trying. I'd hate to be a politician.
Hey, I voted
to,
for
run
him.
for
To be honest,
office,
I was 18. It was my
Show
first
no
time
mercy.
I could ever
They're
vote.
choices.
Pick me.
Why would you sympathize with these people? You know? No, they don't feel sorry for you.
Well, I do.
Like
if he did die and suffer and had his life cut short, I feel bad for him and his wife and his family and his his colleagues, and I do.
Well, if he was suffering, he's in a better place now, that's for sure, and he's not suffering no more.
As far as you know.
Exactly. Right. No, I just said,
I don't have to worry about that.
He's not here. He's not here.
If he was
Hence,
being
he's in a
honest,
better place.
If he was being honest, I think he actually stood for the people pretty well. I give him some respect.
Well,
He was a
that's
doctor.
True, that could be
yes,
why
he
he's dead.
cared. Yeah, he cared.
He was
He
a
was a
doctor.
prisoner of war too. He was a fucking prisoner of war.
That's what I
Whether
was
war
trying
is
to
real or
say.
not, he
Yeah,
got
so
held
he-
fucking
yeah,
Hanoi.
he paid a blue collar price.
That's why I think that maybe he possibly was, ready. Like, I'm ready. Let's go. Because it's unimaginable. I presume, the memories.
Maybe he knows what's coming and doesn't want to be a part of it.
Well, I found there are two ways people die. One knowing they have a God, and one not having beliefs. And they're just the two different ways that I know. I haven't seen anything else.
Yeah.
Sorry for the political derail, by the way. I was just trying to explain maybe that's why Jibby's fireworks went off, and maybe that's why
I looked at the website, and that wasn't the reason. They actually just called it Old Home Day.
What the fuck? They made something up?
They made something up, yes.
Oh my god.
And there's all people cheering them on. It's kind of like all the people who got their asses waxed by the town, board of, oh, fantastic. This was the greatest
Mr.
cold
Byrne
soup I ever
Smithers
had.
going on there, right?
It's like the people who are just so thankful that they got breadcrumbs. Oh, this was the greatest thing ever. It was just the greatest fireworks ever. It's like, stop kissing ass. Jesus Christ.
I'd say
it was like white trash fireworks, for Christ's sake.
They could at least notified you, Jibby.
Actually, they did. I just didn't go to the I didn't go to the Facebook page.
I knew they announced it. I knew they announced it. There's no way they didn't.
Yes, they announced it 7 hours ago. That's all the notice anybody got.
Oh, wow.
So forget inviting people from out of town, which I won't fall for that one again.
Home day.
Like Sean.
Yeah, I know. I invite them from out of town, and they dick me, and then they bring them today from 4th of July. So it's...
Well, by the way, I'm going to give Felix credit. Felix was the first one to mention that John McCain died, and then I looked at the chat, so.
Right. Well, no, thank you for telling me. Yeah. He was an honored man,
As far as we know.
Yeah, made great French fries. I'm kidding.
He was apparently a doctor, so there's that. He was apparently a doctor.
Pizza pockets, too.
Well, I don't know anything did they catch him doing anything, like, bad like they do like most all the other politicians and stuff?
It seemed like he was more willing to be like, hey, I'm an old man, I'm gonna say what I want, and they were like, well, fuck then, and they took him out. That's what I think. They silenced his ass.
Yeah, Carl, you got a lot of work to do still.
Yeah, maybe he just freaking died.
Stuff.
Yeah, he's old, man.
I think you're believing a little too much in the WWE storyline.
Well, that's the thing, though, y'all. We don't know.
Pro-election.
Death and what
you get to a point,
afterwards.
Jimmy. You get to a point where you don't believe any deaths. Like how many people are really
not saying he's
that's
not
why
dead.
that's why we shouldn't fear it. We shouldn't, like if it's your time, it's your time. Although, live.
No, but what if he's spending his last 20 years on Tupac Island? Is the thing too.
He wasn't
if he was
that
a prisoner
caliber,
of war,
though.
If he was a prisoner
that
of
caliber,
war,
he would get an invite.
Sure he was. Sure he was.
Came back and
his family comes from money.
Dedicated his life to our country for our freedom. I think that maybe if he wants to be at Tupac Island, he should be able to go, right?
Don't give me any flag waving here, okay?
No.
All right,
you're gonna trigger me.
On a more serious note, as like a power grab, somebody's gonna take his spot as a senator now.
Oh fuck yeah!
Whether we like it or not, that
his
he was
wife,
sitting
or what?
He was sitting in a hospital state while still occupying that seat. And it's like the motivation to make him die is there,
Yeah.
Carl, you really believe this shit?
Well, the
really
risk in
believe this
actually
election
killing
shit
someone
is all
who's already
legit,
dying,
clean?
Carl, I think Jimmy's
you think
question
these people are all clean and
you?
all on the up and up, and everything they say is true?
Who touched you, Carl? Who touched you?
Enough people are just not loyal enough to McCain. They're loyal enough to someone else.
80 years old, likely dying. Why kill him and make trouble?
Let him go to Tupac Island.
Because the midterm election hasn't happened yet. The 2018 elections for governors hasn't happened yet.
Carl's not letting go of the narrative. Elections are real, your vote counts. All right, Carl.
People are really going to vote, though, on that day.
Election,
I think if you're getting sick, you should at least step down and retire. So
Carl
they
needs
can
to lay
appoint
down.
someone.
Carl needs to lay down.
So
you're not feeling well, Carl.
How would you feel if you had
Carl's in the dark.
the midterm elections?
If you had all your
NPR on,
totally functional,
everybody's
in your
talking
mouth,
at once.
I know.
Hold on.
But you're saying that if you're sick, that you shouldn't lead or do whatever. I say that's not true necessarily. If your brain is functioning well, if you can talk, if people listen, if you're still doing your business, why shouldn't you?
Well, I vote the main
Got two
way
broken
of doing it.
legs and two broken arms. You can't lead.
They've had a dog for mayor in this town for the last decade, and it's been working out.
It was his mind. It's gonna go.
I mean, don't you think people were motivated to kill Michael Jackson with all the copyright patents that he owned?
And he exposed a lot of things.
Who the hell's gonna buy the copyright off Michael Jackson?
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. You kill John McCain, there's motivation behind it.
Doesn't Sony own all of Michael Jackson's records?
They do now.
Yeah, they do.
Did y'all hear me yell at y'all a while ago? Sorry about that.
Yeah, you did good though.
Okay,
you calmed everyone down.
Okay, I was trying not to sound like naggy, but like,
it takes it sometimes.
Okay.
No, it's needed sometimes. You were the right one to do it.
I used my diaphragm.
Yeah, good job.
What?
I was part of it, and I realized it. I backed out of it. I'm like, oh my gosh, Lisa, get out of there. And then I was like, oh my gosh, everyone's in that conversation.
Yeah.
What?
No.
I never believe anything automatically. I just want to say that. I don't believe shit automatically.
No, that's what my point was going to be, Carl, that I think it's okay that you offer a different narrative, and that's
the
good.
one on the radio.
But it's not just that,
No, I think he is offering the ulterior, the nefarious way.
The posterior. That's more like it.
Yeah.
I don't trust people,
the postulates.
I don't trust people that seek power. If you're seeking power, I don't care if you're the left or the right. The left and the right don't matter,
They're the same.
You know what? I
If
see
you're
all these
seeking
comments
power,
on
you're trying to
Facebook.
go up.
I see
we
all these
don't
comments
know.
on Facebook. People are just so locked into this is a leftist statement. This is
we
a
just
right-wing
nosy?
statement. This is a liberal. This is and it's just constantly. If you hear those words constantly, you're gonna start believing the narrative, Carl.
Well, the left and the right
Then you
have
go, you
separate hands that hold
decompress
us
and you
down.
get it out of you.
Carl, think about
It's
this.
easy,
You
you
have a
flip
right.
right back.
Think about this. You have a right wing and a left wing. Wings are from a bird, and they are attached to the middle part of the bird. So the left and the right wing are from the same animal. So they already tell you.
No, but to be leftist,
They already tell you.
We're talking about
pure-
the two wings
wait,
of the
guys,
double-headed eagle. Sean, you know about the double-headed eagle? The
that's
Freemasonic
fascist.
double-headed
Oh
eagle?
my
with the
gosh,
43?
you are so dark.
It's fascist. I know.
I like it.
That's what the left wing and the right wing in politics are. They're the two fucking sides of the double-headed
in
eagle.
politics, yes, but to be pure leftist like Noam Chomsky or like a pure anarchist is to be 100% left.
I'm not left
you
at
don't
all.
believe in
I'm not a
government.
Democrat whatsoever. I cannot
That's
stand
not
to be in the
Democrat
presence
is
presence of people that are like that, you know?
a Democrat is
Is there a
purple
such
pillar.
thing as a left, rightist,
Chomsky,
leftist?
excuse me, it's all fabrication, paradigms, and fiction. And Noam Chomsky as a liberal example of intellectual whatever. What a bullshit con artist that one is.
Shout out Haunted
These are all
House.
actors.
If there's a left and a right, why would you ever move from the center? Why would you ever even bother? The whole left and right is a fucking joke. It's a
Because
scam.
one represents freedom and one represents fascism.
It's the two separate hands that control you without any face. It's bullshit.
No, that's the paid agenda. That's both fascism. I consider everything that's involved in the regular government as fascism.
It's dude, Sean,
Democrats are fascists.
The left is a perfect mirror of the right, and they're both part of the hidden hand of government to fuck you over.
Yeah, you're looking at the Soros babies.
The hidden hand, man.
You're looking
the hidden hand goes all the way back.
You're looking at the riots and shit that are funded on both sides.
Chocolate.
I'm talking about hundreds of years.
Oh.
The hidden hand.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no shit. The hidden hand's been involved in all that, the left and the right. That's why I don't pay attention to it. That's why I'm a pure anarchist. I want all government abolished. I want us to have free electricity. I want us to do whatever we fucking want, my dude. But we'll have it means no rulers, no masters. It doesn't mean no rules, no unanimous. It means, I think we all agree on the 3 basic human rights: no murder, no stealing, no raping.
I constantly hear it on the radio, like Jibby's saying, but I disagree. And what they try to tell people is that there's only 2 parties, and there's not. And it's just bullshit because, like, if you start to become part of a party, now you're just a follower who's doing what they're told, and you're just a shill. And you're really the definition of a shill when all you do is repeat what the party says. You know? You can't associate with any party.
And you get paid to do it, and you get paid to do it, you know? And, yeah.
Well, you end up being a volunteer shill if you're not getting paid.
That's the thing, though. There's good people, and then there's
Sean, I made also one for you. Yeah,
right?
It's much simple.
What goes both ways?
The fuck is that, Artez?
For every paid shill, there's 10 volunteer shills that accidentally follow that paid shill. Like you've seen with some of these trolls. Some of them are just accidental trolls. They just thought it was hilarious. No one's paying them at all, and they're just a demon who just chuckles all night long and just they follow around the paid ones.
I'm glad I know better most of the time.
Artez, I don't drink Smirnoff.
Thank you for helping to shed the light on that, because I don't always think that way, you know?
In any setting, whether it's political, the internet, it's just some random thing, all shills, like the paid ones that are the higher level ones, they disguise themselves by surrounding themselves with other ones. You know, and in the internet world, they can use the stock counts. We've all seen how that game works.
Yeah, but what about the paid people that aren't shills, you know? Wait, I'm
like
sorry.
Brother Ernest.
What I meant to say was I would think that not every paid person is a shill, right?
Well, if you're being paid to be here from any angle, though, I mean, you're working for someone else.
It depends on their angle. It depends on the angle. If it's for Flat Earth, then they're not a shill. But if they're against Flat Earth and they're paid to do
I wasn't talking about Flat Earth. I was just talking about in general.
So nobody who's for Flat Earth can be a shill.
Well, I mean, if you're a flat earther and you're just doing it because someone told you to and you don't really believe it, then that you got to be a shill.
No, that is doing it because you just believe it and you don't know it. But why can't there be people out there faking their flat
No, I'm talking about they don't even believe it.
No, kind of the same, Carl. Kind of the same as the alien guys who like don't believe in aliens, but they know they can make money off of faking alien stories.
No, I mean, I'm gonna name somebody by name. Jake Gibson decided to drop out of the flat Earth because his T-shirts weren't selling, and there was no money and there was no hype in him. So I'm gonna drop his name right away and say
he was called out by D Marvel.
I'm not the first one to call him out by any means. He got called out by Math Powerland recently too. But I'm just saying,
and he was told to change his name, so he changed it to Jake the Asshole. But he still talks about Flat Earth all the time.
Yeah, but the point is, he thought that this was somehow going to bring him a revenue, and it's like he's just not interested in only talking about theories and figuring shit out. He wants it to be like money coming his way. You know, like you think you would have sold a T-shirt for like $6, not $20.
Tweaker shoulder? Is it a tweaker shoulder?
If I'm going to try to make a fair point, I'm not going to say fuck him, but like, he just seems shallow. Like, I don't have time for that kind of shit. Like, people like him are shills because he's here to make some money.
For that.
You know, what did he really prove? Nothing. He probably got through to a lot of people.
No, you know what he did is he copied Math Powerland by instead of cartoon or painting or photo.
Well, he had some videos that had like a decent lineup of facts or whatever you want to call them, and then some music that was compelling, and a lot of people saw them. That's what he did.
Yeah.
I guess if I'm going to give him his credit, you know.
And then he went on his pussy tours, and it ruined his life.
But it wasn't his proofs, you know. He was just promoting. So he basically was shilling. You know?
In a way, yeah. He tried to be a famous flat earther just because.
So he saw there was no money to be made, and now where is he? He just doesn't really care. I mean, he's searching for some girl with Jeff. Him
He's
and Jeff are looking for some
Yeah,
girl.
he had those people on his show.
If you ask me for my opinion on oh, you're talking about Jake the asshole, not Matt Powerland. Okay,
Yeah, I'm talking about Jake. Yeah.
Yeah, my mistake.
But I can't name too many other people that seem like they're simply shilling, where they're just here for the money. Like some people, you can suspect that about them, but then again, that you don't want to just say
and
that
isn't
about
their
someone,
claim
but...
a false claim? Like this isn't even someone who's missing. They're just like blowing this shit up.
You know what I think? You know,
well, here's the first thing: they
Jake
ask you for money first. If someone's asking you for money, then that's where it starts.
Yeah.
So
Jake could have been good to demonstrate, like, you know, gunshot craters and other stuff, and in a slightly, you know, he's boisterous and just very out there, you know, and he had
in
a
your
style.
face, right?
But yeah, and that was good when it was in the face of Globers,
right?
And that didn't last long.
No.
At that time, it was like I watched a year at least where flatties were all in each other's shit right up to the eyebrows and wazoos and cutting each other down, and everyone was.
26 was the bloodbath year.
And I'm as
that was
guilty
directed
as
too.
One, and I'm an axe murderer in the flat Earth. Really am.
Well,
Okay?
2017,
but
really.
I have my beliefs. I have what I suspect, and I've researched, and I know what I know, and I, you know, see things and patterns, and it's just my opinions and stuff, but, you know.
Hey, Jim, I picked up my cat, and I gave it potential energy, and then it flew off.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I just want to see people in Globers' faces with accurate information. If you don't know something, just say you don't know it.
I did a lot of that last
like
night.
potential energy. And keys and microphones, those are simple stuff. They're so in your face. The flat water, you can't deny. You try to keep it with these things that are so like the flat water. It hurts them. It hurts them inside. They can't go away. They can't attack you. They're just raging. It's good. You know, they have to do something about it. Either let it keep eating them up or go one way or another. Yes. And hopefully they'll have seen not just you, but later on meet someone else who's in their face, water's flat, you're an idiot. And then they have to eat it again. You see, they're eating it because they know you're right.
Yeah.
And they have to go away leaving knowing you're right. And all that pride, ego, and stupidity that they have inside them won't permit them to. Not without, you know.
I hope I triggered these Globers that I talked to.
It's okay to trigger them carefully. But again, with the right things.
The real realization begins when they ponder it all on their own later, and they're like jogging, doing their workout routine, or just something where
they'll
they're
go back
on their...
to, what do you mean water always finds its level and you can see farther than you should be able to? That's the simplest sentence you can say.
When they're finally with their own thoughts and no one's there to tell them what to think, and they stop thinking about what their ego says about what other people would say, that's when you think about it honestly. You drop your ego, forget about what other people think about it, and you look at it for yourself. That's when people think about it. You probably inspired a dozen people like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just need to address a little thing in the chat there by Slam Free Poetry, where I refer to air as metal. No, I do not refer to air as metal. I refer to oxygen as a metal. Thank you.
Wizloff, yes, my moon is reddish as well. It's in the southeast of me. I guess
that's where mine was.
Wow, you know what's really interesting? You're seeing a red moon?
It's still there, like far away, but it's low, right?
I'm seeing huge, long chemtrails under the moon right now, which means they're like close to the moon, and it's probably what you're seeing blocking your view of the moon.
I don't think so, Carl.
I see the moon.
She's to the west. Think about it, Sean. The moon's tonight.
No, that's way too. They're not that high, though. They're not that.
It's
high.
Low tonight. It's south, and it's
the moon is probably in the firmament, and we don't know how high that is. It's
a Sean, ask her how high is the moon on her horizon? Not very high up, right? It's Louisiana. It's further west, man. It's a lot further west.
West.
I just don't know if
West.
you'd be able to see that far to Boston.
Oh, yeah. Further west of you. Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
The
Lisa,
vanishing point
west
would
of us
be
by a lot.
way too close, I feel like.
Hold on, I'll try to show you what the moon looks like here right now with the giant chemtrail. Hold on. I don't want to drop my crackers.
See, but I can't see good enough. I don't know.
What kind of life are you leading, Carl, where you're eating crackers alone in the car?
I think 35K feet is too low for
Push
Lisa to see from wherever she is.
Yeah, I think that the Garrett thing, living in your car, is becoming hip.
Hey, I saw a video popped up for me in what the what do you call it, the recommendations, the recommendations, and it was like it said how to live in your car for $800 a month.
Do you see the chemtrail in front of the moon?
Watch it though.
Yes.
Oh hell yeah! Or that's just one long thin cloud, an anorexic cloud.
Yeah, and above that I see a perfect full moon.
Well, there are 3 or 4 the other way too, right? Oh no, there's more than one trail, right? And one right across the moon.
Right now, there's a lot of haze.
Oh, those are telephone wires. Some of them, I think. I'm confused.
Yeah, those are wires.
I got you. The white one is the chemtrail. Okay.
Yep.
My bad.
Oh wait, are you showing your moon right now?
This is live from Massachusetts.
I'm sitting here staring at my moon. I didn't know.
In front of his house in his driveway.
Don't mind the audio, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a great moon tonight. Let me see if I see a moon.
What audio?
He's doing shit.
Are you looking at your moon? I'm looking at my moon.
Jibby, you're not showing anything.
Raindrops keep falling on my head. Damn.
I missed it. Never mind.
Last night it was pretty nice.
Jibby.
Carl, where are your dogs?
They're inside.
So who let them out?
Who let the dogs out?
Who?
I let the dogs out.
I don't know.
You know that song's about ugly women?
Yeah. Well, apparently Jippy's dogs are having a rough life. Rough.
You know you're a slave to the Illuminati when you know who did the song "Who Let the Dogs Out."
Baja Man.
Who did it? Who made it?
Sean, you're a slave to the Illuminati.
Oh, did he?
Coke Rails.
Baja
yes,
Man.
big up the weed smokers. Yes,
yeah, I wouldn't have remembered Baja Man if you gave me like
actually, I only know this song because of late night show with Dave Letterman.
David Letterman. That's how I heard it for the first time.
Yeah.
He would look at Paul. He would look at Paul and he would go, who?
Yeah.
And he kept doing that for like a week. That's how I learned.
Paul.
Calm down, Letterman.
Jibby, everybody knows that the Jews let the dogs out.
Jews let the dogs out.
You know,
Jews.
Paul on David Letterman, there is lead musician, whatever. He had the most jazz. He had more jazz hands than freaking Lady Gaga. And if that guy didn't have both hands all the time, jazz hand, I don't know. I've never seen jazz hands.
Yeah, he had jazz hands with a razzmatazz.
Yeah, picture me with jazz hands. I'm doing jazz hands now. Jazz hands.
You're all about jazz hands.
Yeah.
I can tell.
Do a Gaga jazz hand. Track a pose, Gaga.
Jazz Wakanda hands.
Jazz hand jobs.
Giant hands.
Jazz hand jobs. Yeah,
Jazz Wakanda hands help you fly helicopters better.
Yeah, as he's maneuvering around the curvature.
I told Jazz about stratospheric aerosol injection, and he finally admits the chemtrails are real, I think.
Yes. Well, it's the aerial dispersion program, too. It's huge. It's huge. Millions of metric tons after metric tons pumped up in...
All just a couple of fake planes.
All right, night, Lisa. We love you.
Someone else might want to get in here, you know?
What, is it full pan? It's not even full.
Yeah, I think it is.
I don't think so.
Huh?
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, there's 10 with me.
4, 5, 6.
Yeah, it is.
7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm
It's
on
cool.
here twice. And I can drop off this one right here.
Well,
so I can do that.
Or who wants to get on?
If someone
Gathica
wants to come in,
on?
I can leave.
Gathica. We
So.
got Gathica. We got Haunted was in there earlier.
Yeah, but as long
What
as
about
Snack is
Chocolate?
on.
Chocolate's been in the chat recently.
I've never
He's a
talked
newbie.
to Chocolate saying.
Hey, Chocolate.
Too, so.
Chocolate, you want to join in, mate?
You want to rain down something?
Rain down?
It's a joke.
Hey, Artist, I haven't
Get
got to talk to you.
I think Gathica wants to join too.
Okay. Well, if new people are coming, I want to stay and say hello. And if I need to leave, I'll leave.
Snack is selected himself, and he's stuck on the watch page.
I'm cannabis induced.
No, he's not.
There we go. Okay. No, that was me apparently.
Never mind. You're all set.
Just caught up. OBS is so slow.
I'm just enjoying my night, to be honest with you guys. So,
That's nice. That's always good.
Yeah.
Nice. What is it? Saturday, right?
Yep.
Saturday.
And I ain't got nobody.
Snack still there?
He might be.
Snack gave Dan such a hard time over Saturday Night Live.
Snackaroo, are you around, Snackaroo?
If he isn't, let him rest.
I hope.
He was up a long time.
I hope Dan the Waterman does a real Saturday Night Live skit.
Saturday night, PonchoPete.
Well, that Saturday Night joke has been made over and over again, but to actually make skits like Saturday Night Live, that's not the worst idea. No one really did that.
Done.
Carl, was that a beer?
Dude, we did that we did that 2.5 years ago on.
tab.
We did it 2.5 years ago on Jeff.
Yeah, that was Carl.
But Jimmy, you guys actually did sketches.
Yes, I did Lord Stephen Christ, laying on my couch eating cherries. We did Flat Earth versions, though. It was like Flat Earth kind of impressions, and yeah, it was it was just all improv, and it came out pretty funny.
He's gonna shrink the earth because it's concave and swallow it, and we'll live inside his belly. We're gonna be living inside the belly of LSD.
You guys
Chocolate
did the
Sane said he would come.
Man. The comedy night thing was too funny.
Yeah, we're gonna revisit that soon.
Yeah, I bought the Steam engine and everything. I think I made it into the chat a few times during the steampunk events. I never made it on stage or something there. Didn't know how to get on stage, or I don't know.
Oh, a legit flat earth. Yeah, Slam Free Poetry says the best thing would be a legit flat earth, globe earth game show.
All right, I have a question. Here's a game show for you, Lisa. Who is the toughest scientist who promotes globe earth? Who's the toughest one? Who's the one who can fight?
Like Sean, physically or
physically.
A scientist?
It's a question for her.
I don't know. I was gonna say
no, for everyone. That's for all of you.
I know Bill Nye the Science Guy.
You're gonna vote him.
I mean,
you're gonna vote that skinny fuck.
No,
question.
No, I'm not.
Well, no, I
want to
see
I'm telling you, that's the only name I know.
Them versus Eddie Bravo in the ring.
Oh, I thought you were serious because I thought Sean researched for a second.
Yeah, throw them both against Bravo. We'd tie him up in pretzels.
Neil deGrasse Tyson was captain of the wrestling team.
Yeah, him versus and he but Eddie Bravo runs 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. And he knows his wrestling.
No, Neil, not Bill Nye. Neil deGrasse.
Neil deGrasse, yeah.
Oh, okay. Dang it.
Yeah,
I was half right, half right.
But Eddie Bravo knows his UFC fighting, you know what I mean?
If you were half right, it came out as all wrong.
But. I always do, but then again, in the end, it's all right.
Yeah, I'm predicting.
It's all white.
It's all white. That's right. That's me. I'm Lisa White.
I think this VR is going to get so ridiculous that we're going to see that fight in 2 years. We're going to see Neil deGrasse versus Eddie Bravo. in the ring.
I seriously doubt that.
Oh yes,
I suggest you break your crystal ball, my friend.
For a game show host.
It would make
He's
for
ready.
that would you know how much money that would make because they've been promoting the flat Earth for this long now, and it's been a topic in public eye's view for a while, and it's getting bigger and bigger. It's like,
if
what if it turns into that?
Look at what he calls himself Homo sapien. No, what's his name? Homo Greater Sapien.
Oh, Greater Sapien. That guy's
Look what good and benefit he did for the flat Earth in advertisement. For $20,000, it's world news, and it's flatties who paid it. It's brilliant.
Hello, coffee cup.
Yeah,
not just
Greater
blundered investing in a bogus freaking plane ride.
Hi,
Gave
Carl.
$1 billion worth of advertisement to the flat Earth. I say hats off to him. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Keep it up.
Yeah, that Greater Sapien guy, man. That guy really gets on my nerves.
Oh, I can watch him, and I'd be so embarrassed.
Josh, when'd you
I'd
get
be
here?
so embarrassed if he had a
Josh
conscience.
has probably been here.
But he's an atheist, and we're here on a ball, and nothing matters. So 20 grand is nothing, eh? No reason to feel morally reprehensible or, responsible. Why bother? I hope he pays everyone back or does something and has a little bit of integrity. I could never know. I doubt it, though. Few bucks here, a few bucks there. A lot of them won't even care. They had good intent. He probably had good intent. I don't doubt that. Things messed up. It's hard to, well, it wouldn't be hard. It'd be the right thing to do. You have your emails, everyone who paid you, send them their damn money back. You're going to eat a loss, too. Because that company took, when you do one of those GoFundMe, they're probably at 20, 30%. They have a fee.
No, not that much.
No, 15.
It's low. I think it's just right around 10. And
Well,
PayPal's like around 4.
That's reasonable for that kind of service. But still, that's 10% going to come out of your pocket of 20,000.
Well, check this.
GoFundMe also kind of wants a gratuity as well. GoFundMe, because they're a free kind of thing. They kind of survive off gratuity. So if you GoFundMe, they automatically put in a 5%, I think, tip, which you can put to 0 if you want. But they kind of guilt you, like we're not charging anything for any